Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another week of the Owatonna Wrestling Weekly Podcast. This is our second season now. This is episode number 6.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's coming along, and I'm hearing a lot of people on here. We appreciate everyone that does watch this. It's good to hear what people have to say about it, and it's good advertising for our sponsors too. Who do we got this week, Coach?
We have the Flemke Insurance Agency. Mr. Ben Flemke there, right downtown, right before the power plant there. He wanted us to let us know, and I already know this. He's a one-stop shop for all your insurance needs. They shop over 40 companies on your behalf, 40 carriers, and that's saving you time and money right there, and a lot of the hassle as well, because they're working for you, not the insurance company. They are shopping insurance companies on your behalf. So it's like having your own broker.
That's good. Yeah. I like when they do that with these insurance agencies. Some don't and some do.
Yeah. Yep. And also, he sponsors basically everything we do. It seems like our golf event in the summer, T-shirts, things like that. So he's just so active in the wrestling community and, a lot of different sports and, community activities as well. So thank you, Mr. Ben Flemke. Thank you for letting us borrow your son, Maximus Flemke, our 220-pounder, our freshman. So just a delight in the room, too. And so, yeah, you've done a great job. Thank you.
Yes, he has. Okay, OHS, the high school team. Last Thursday, they had a big night. Man.
Yeah, under the lamp. Always love that. JV came out and represented pretty well. And it was nice to see our community come out for that, too. Yeah. We were... our side of the gym was pretty dang full, even by just JV. And then once the lights went low, teed it up, and head-to-head with Northfield under the lamp. And...
Pretty close match.
Pretty close, and it always comes down to those kind of team points, rubber matches, those
Bubble
type of
match.
things. Yeah, it could have gone either way. We had some really close ones.
There's three or four.
Yeah, yep. So we had a lot of fun at, and I forgot, Mr. Mason Blum was on here too on the pin side because he ended up hobbling back for a pin. So it was Michael Reinardy at 138 with a pin, Cael Robb at 160. Mason Blum at 152, and that's after re-injuring his ankle late in the first period. Kind of left it up to him while we were on the mat, saying, what do you want to do? And he's like, and he's like this every day. He wants to be back in the room so fast. If anything, we're trying to hold him back to heal up a little bit. And goes back out there, gets the pin, lights it up.
Yes, he did.
That was incredible. And
everybody came to their feet on that one, too.
Right. And then you've said this before. It's nice to end on a win no matter what. And so Grant Lauer coming out, even though Northfield had the match in hand, coming out getting the stick. That's at least a nice, icing on the cake there.
That's that heavyweight. That guy is a big boy, I'll tell you.
He is.
Now, how about them clutch wins? They got a couple of them.
Yeah, so, Lane Karsten at 126 versus his section final foe, Keith Harner, who last year he was 2-2 against, and he was on his way to, very close to a major. The way Lane's progressed, I wouldn't be surprised that if they saw each other section finals again this year, that we're talking about Tech Fall territory because he's learning how to pour it on, which is great. It's not just believing in himself to get the win. Now it's believing in himself to dominate. So that's cool to see.
That's what you want this time of year.
Yeah.
It's getting close. And then also Mason Blum got that. That was clutch when we already went over that one.
Yeah, yep.
All right, close losses. That were the 4 bubble ones.
Yeah. Donnie had ranked Caden Staub from at 113, and that's kind of a grudge match too. I think they were 2-2 against each other last year as well. So to come out and really, he was one fireman's carry away. That was kind of the difference in the match. I believe it was like an 8-4 match. Yep. And Donnie came back and was definitely in better shape. Had him gassed out at the end there.
Is that the first time he's met him this year then?
This year, yes.
Oh,
that's
boy.
the first time. So
well, they got sections. They'll figure it out.
Absolutely. And then Parker Casas, he's such a grinder in the room. He's one of the best listeners, hardest working kids. Can't get 2 words out of him, but that's not always the worst thing in the world.
I know.
And for him to go 4-1 against Keith Harner brother Sam, who is a really jacked kid, Parker stayed active the entire match, just absolutely sit out after sit out after sit out. To keep that to a regular decision 4-1 was pretty incredible for a kid that, may not have been wrestling his entire life, but is like picking it up pretty dang fast. And it's cool to see him evolve in front of our eyes.
And Ryan Feltz at 182.
Ryan Feltz versus girls national champion Ella Pagel, who, from my understanding, has had Ryan's number his whole life, and more in like the tech fall pin territory. And so for Feltz to be leading that match, late, for him to
third period.
Yeah, and like really believe in himself. A really close loss. That was a bubble match too. It's not like she dominated or anything like that. So that was great to see.
She is number one in the nation. When I heard that, I just couldn't hardly believe it.
Yeah.
Good wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
And Blake Fitcher.
Yeah.
195.
Yes. So yeah, against Murphy, and that's one where he is. That's all he. I know that's the only thing that's been in his head since last Thursday is just, it was a 2-1 match basically for the entire third period, and just so close, and that's what we're working on. It's just kind of getting them over that mental block of staying aggressive on your feet.
That could have been the 3-point swing right there.
Yeah. We don't want to put it on any one match.
Not any one match, no.
But yeah, we had a lot of bubble matches, and gave up some team points we shouldn't have on some other stuff. So yeah.
And last Saturday, Varsity JV was at Zumbrota-Mazeppa.
Yes, so lost a heartbreaker first round to Lean and Mean Kenyon-Wanamingo from Class A. We were down 2 points going into heavyweight. Lauer fought so hard at heavyweight, was even leading well into the second period. Got kind of tossed on the edge on the kind of a controversial takedown, considering he's such a large human that his feet were on the gym floor. And it took a little late to notice that. But this is a Kenyon team, so we barely lost at heavyweight. But it's a Kenyon team that just knocked off number 1 ranked Dover-Yoda.
Last night I was over in Dover-Yoda, and they beat them guys 37-32, and Dover's ranked number 1 in the state. So
yeah, so
Class A.
That's so to think about that, and to think about the fact that we were right there going into heavyweight, and we were forfeiting one weight all day. We were down a weight class, so giving up a forfeit every single duel.
They were ahead going into heavyweight 31 to. It was the low 20s, I think, or something like that. It ended up 37-32 because they forfeited their heavyweight. They didn't need to send them out.
Oh, okay. Yep.
So it looks like it was close, but it really wasn't. They dominated. They were a tough physical team.
They are.
They're better now than they were at the beginning of the season. I'm telling you.
They're tough.
They're going to be good. Team to watch at sections.
Absolutely. Well, and then we had Zumbrota next, and Zumbrota had our number, top to bottom. It was 13-57 match, but we had some moral victories in there. They had really high ranked Owatonna connection Jack Cryer, Mark Cryer's Crier, his son, number 3 ranked.
Yep.
Lane Karsten, who for all intents and purposes is wrestling kind of up a weight when he's at 26, went the distance with Jack and fought off legs. I think he got a takedown, really battled hard. And same thing, Caden Lindquist at 106 had a similar, really, really tough fight against a good kid. So that was cool to see. And then finished the day with a win against Centennial, 40-37. And they're kind of an up-and-coming team. They were historically good and then down for, a stretch. But you see it coming back where now every single weight class is at least strong. If not experienced, they're at least strong. So that's,
Team highlights there. Cael Robb?
Yeah, Robb took care of business. No surprise there. Just beating the absolute crap out of everybody at 160. Michael Reinardy against, he went undefeated on the day, but against Centennial, went against their stud, Timko, who was a state qualifier, went out and Jap wizarded him to his back in the first 10 seconds, stuck him right on the spot.
Oh, boy.
So that was huge. And, we know Michael's capable of that, but it's to do it against such, high caliber opponents is so impressive. Who Jap wizards anyone anymore? It's cool. Lane Karsten, like I said, 2-1 on the day with tough wins, but then also, hanging with Jack Creer there at for Zumbrota. And then Max Flemke, we got to stop putting all the weight on his shoulders, but he did ice the duel at 220 against Centennial, where all he needed to do was not get pinned against their senior captain, who was an absolute animal, and he did that. Hung in that match, fought all the way to the end.
Good.
Yeah, it was great to see.
Last Saturday, the girls' varsity were at an individual tournament in Champlain Park.
Yeah, and our 7th grader, Aaliyah Fitcher, at 138, took first place. I think all 3 pins, I do believe.
Them Fisher girls are kind of tough, aren't they?
Yeah. So she's hitting her stride. And, I mean, she's such a hard worker all year round anyway. We knew that was going to happen. And then Precious Carter at 145 took 3rd place, 2-1 on the day. And she's, for being as kind of new as she is, it's really taken to the sport. So that's incredible to see. And then we also had 7th grader Lucinda Ornelas compete at this high school event at 100 pounds. And London Abbott, 8th grader at 107, her first year wrestling, I mean, maybe a month in, and wrestling high schoolers. And then Isabel Townley at 107 was also competing that day, so our sophomore.
Now, we got a big week coming this week. I know that. First of all, Mankato East.
Yeah, who, you know what? They are no slouch. They aren't the Mankato East that we remember. They kept it within 2 points of Northfield a couple of weeks ago. You know, they may not fill out a full lineup, but where they are, they're tough.
They get pins.
Yeah, they at least kind of surprised, and maybe that was kind of a trap scenario against Northfield. So we're talking about that in our room. Like, don't look past them. You know, everything's got to click.
Yep, and that's in Mankato East. So that's a home match for them. That always, I say, you know, it's kind of like football. That's a 3-point swing right there in the home matches, I think, anyway. The JV starts at 6, and varsity follows at 7:15, whatever time they get done with the JV.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's on Thursday. Then Saturday at East Ridge individual tournament. What town's that in? East Ridge?
That's Woodbury.
Woodbury.
Yep, it's a Woodbury school.
Okay.
Massive school. So we went there last year for the first time, individual tournament on both the varsity and JV side, and really cool. They, you know, and they have some big time programs there. Apple Valley's there, Waconia, Anoka. So some really kind of stud teams. Maple Grove.
All the North teams.
Yep, all those North Metro teams. So. Yeah, that'll be a tough one. It's really fun though. It's a cool environment. It's all in one big kind of field house-ish gym, so we're not running between different gyms or anything like that.
And Saturday, the 9th grade team at State at Mora.
Yeah, so we're gonna put that 2nd place result that they had a few weeks ago at Eastview in that really tough 9th grade tournament. We're putting that to the test this Saturday. So we have still a team that's mostly 9th graders at the weights, and then we have some 7th and 8th graders chipping in and ready to go. Yeah.
And then the middle school, last but not least.
Yeah, and they're heading into their last week. They're at tail end. They usually wrap up at the end of January, so that's where they're at right now. And last week they had 3 nights in a row, just crazy. Shakopee on Thursday, Lakeville on Friday.
That's fun for that age.
It is. They can do it.
They can do it, yeah.
Yeah. You don't have to worry. Yeah, they're not weighing in. Yep. You know, they're just wrestle what you weigh, match you up, have good.
Yep. And you have fun.
Exactly. And then they were at that Coon Rapids, which is now an individual tournament on Saturday.
And that's just this time of year, too. You keep busy with matches, and they don't get bored with having practices. You know?
Yeah, right.
They've done enough practicing.
Yeah.
They're ready to wrestle.
Little cabin fever there. Yep. And then this week they're hosting at the Owatonna Middle School. I believe it's a quad, and that starts at 4:15. So go ahead and there's full concessions there. So load up on pizza. Yeah, tomorrow night, 4:15 at the middle school.
And Saturday they're at Farmington individual tournament. That's a big one.
Yeah. So that's kind of a good way to round out their season there as they're in the home stretch. And and like I said, we'll be borrowing a few of them for 9th grade that day. So.
All right, we're at a point we're going to take a little break, and we'll be back with more wrestling right after this. All right, we are back here with the Owatonna Wrestling Weekly Podcast with head coach DJ Johnson, and now we got Justin Sorensen as the guest here tonight. Welcome, Justin.
Thank you.
All these Sorensens back to back.
Yeah.
So I'll apologize right now if I call you Josh. Or, well, Lonnie. I think that's your dad, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Just don't call him Danny or Kirby.
Yeah.
That's all he ever has.
There you go. Well, tell us a little bit about your family and maybe work or hobbies, or how about your family?
Yeah. My wife, Carrie, and my 2 daughters. I got an 11-year-old and an 8-year-old. Avery and Eliana. Mm-hmm. So they're both in sports themselves. Avery's in basketball.
Okay.
And 5th grade basketball, and Ellie's in gymnastics. So 2 sports I know nothing about. And when we go to basketball tournaments, I really know nothing about them. So I'm always asking questions.
Yep.
There you go.
Oh, they might wrestle. You never know.
Yeah, Ellie, she's actually been asking about it. So next year she might think about going.
Oh, good.
We'll see what happens.
Okay. How about your grandma and grandpa? They still come to matches?
I don't think they've been to a match for a while. You know, like even myself, I hadn't been to a wrestling match in years, just because we really didn't have any family in it still, and so I don't think Grandma and Grandpa have really been to a match either. But I think now that I kind of got back into the swing of things with the organization and that, and I think you're going to start seeing my dad and Grandma and Grandpa showing up a little bit more often.
Oh, good. Oh, good. What kind of work? Oh, you say you're getting back in doing the work. What are you doing here for the wrestling?
Helping assistant coach.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
I hadn't
At the varsity level?
At the varsity level, yeah. So I come in here and get my butt kicked every day.
Oh, geez.
yeah.
Butt kicked.
That's what makes guys better.
He was a legend the second he stepped in the room. They were just like, "Who is this guy?" They still talk about it, because what did your shirt say? Stay dangerous?
Stay dangerous,
Yeah, so that's
Stay
already...
dangerous?
Stay dangerous.
Stay dangerous. They've been using it as like a hashtag on Instagram and stuff. Stay dangerous.
They like that, so.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
Cool.
But it's perfect to have it. Sorry, it's perfect to have a guy like your size, but also, because we have like some of these wrestlers that are that type where you're an upper weight, but you wrestle more like a middleweight, like a Blake Fitcher. Even to an extent, like Max Flemke and some of these guys who, can move. Still pretty fast, still pretty quick. I see. Some of our taller guys, even like Logan Risser, a young dude, he's going to be packing it on. And when he does, they're tall enough to where they're going to be in your range. You're wrestling 89 as a high schooler, and they're going to be 82, 95. So that's about perfect.
Yeah, and that's kind of. I've always wrestled the heavier weights. I mean,
Yes,
for the
you
most part. So that's kind of the group that I've been kind of going towards. But,
Well, what college? How'd you do there?
yeah, college wrestled at Augsburg.
Okay.
Now they changed it from Augsburg College to Augsburg University
Oh,
for
my.
some reason. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Makes it look
Stepping
bigger.
up, I guess.
Makes it sound bigger.
Yeah.
Bigger, better.
Yeah. Yeah, wrestled there at 197 and took 6th place my junior year. So
That's pretty good. 6th of the nation.
got to wrestle with a lot of really good guys. Got to make a lot of good friends. And the coaching staff we had, Coach Swenson and Donnie was my personal coach. And
Wickman was working with you directly?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
he was. Every coach kind of picked a few people, and Donnie was one of my guys. So we spent a lot of time going over wrestling footage and whatnot.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yep, and a lot of really good guys up there. So it really
Yeah,
pushed
when
you
you see
hard.
all these guys out there all around the United States, actually, you learn a lot. You learn a lot just wrestling against them guys,
Oh yeah,
and watching them before you wrestle them. I'm sure you did that, but
yeah. Going into it, and I don't think I got an actual takedown that I could say was a real legitimate takedown on anybody that was. Especially a starter for probably at least the first 2 weeks of practice. And I don't know if you had that same experience.
Same deal, yep.
You go in there thinking, okay, I got this. And then, it's a little tougher than you think when everybody there was either a state champion probably top 3 in whatever weight class they were in. So yeah,
Gabe, his first college match, he wrestled a guy that had a broken thumb. Well, he had taped it all up, and it was just like a cast. This guy was jabbing him in his eye the whole match, and the ref let him get away. He come out with both his eyes all cut up. He lost that one. He got beat up pretty good. He learned. What it's like in college. They're rough and tough, boy.
Oh yeah.
Well, how about high school then? What we skipped to college, but like you were a part of some pretty dang good teams, but you personally had some accolades too. How'd that go for you?
Yeah. My senior year, I ended up taking second. I don't know if anything would have changed, but the day before we actually left for the state tournament, the other day I actually said I had never had any injuries, and I kind of forgot about the kind of a big one. I actually ended up fracturing a metacarpal in my hand the day before we left for the state tournament my senior year.
Yeah, I remember
I was wrestling with Jeremy Schubert. He was a former wrestler and state champion, and we were wrestling over by the inlet vent over there, and I went in for a high crotch on him and whacked my hand right into the mat and actually ended up fracturing it. And one of my coaches, my personal coaches, senior year was Travis View, and afterwards we would do little workouts. Sure. And I tried to, my hand was just hurting so bad, and I tried to pick up, he brought down a couple 45-pound plates, and we were going to do a plate workout, and I couldn't hold on to it. And he started yelling at me, and he stormed out of the room, and he apologized at the senior banquet because he said, I didn't realize it was actually like broke.
Yeah. Oh my God.
But
that's awesome.
Yeah, went to state there, and lots of ibuprofen and tape to get through that whole state. The state tournament. It was all swelled up in black and blue. But
how'd you place then?
Ended up taking second. Yep, overtime match in the finals. So
you got a good wrestling relationship then with all these guys here. You can tell them a lot of stuff that's been going on with you. So
yeah,
that's great.
Yeah.
This is how many years you've been coaching? This is your first year coaching.
Yeah, I kind of got out of wrestling for some time after Kirby graduated. Then I kind of just fell out of it for some time. Doing the parent thing and the newlywed thing. It's a lot of stuff going on in life. And 2017, I got back into working out because I wanted to start Western hunting and focus on elk hunting, and that's kind of my passion.
Elk hunting?
Elk hunting,
Oh,
yep.
my.
In the last 6 years, I've been doing that every year. And then this summer, we were at the Mineral Springs Brewery for one of the wrestling events, and I happened to be talking to Mr. Meager, Mike, and mentioned that I wouldn't mind getting back into and helping out a little bit. And for some reason, right there, I ended up signing a 20-year contract. You said in that text message.
I was in Florida at the time, and all of a sudden I get the text. He goes, "Justin Sorensen's in for 20 years." All right.
Yeah, so that was pretty good.
Yeah.
You finished the writing after you signed it.
That's right. Yeah.
Yep.
Verbal contract.
Yeah.
DJ, you got the next one there?
Yeah. Well, so you're not like a yeller. You're a pretty soft-spoken gentleman who leads by example and everything like that. Mm-hmm. What would you say like you bring to a wrestling room with your style? It's it can be expertise. I've already seen like a lot of these guys latch on to some of your technique and stuff like that. What would you say kind of what you bring, your value to a wrestling room?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, one of the things, I like going live with the guys that keeps me in shape, and it definitely helps them out, right? The more that the coaches can go live with them and try to help them out as you do that.
Well, you never took shortcuts when you were wrestling, so that's good.
Especially with the heavier weights, that's where I kind of was at both high school and college. So I mean, with different moves, especially like he was saying, people that move around a lot and are going to be more shooters and that was kind of like a middleweight, and that was kind of like my style. So I'm hoping to bring that. And
these kids are a lot faster.
Yeah, and as we see things that we can improve on, that's where I hope I can help out.
Well, and you've already, like I said, we have a couple guys in here, and unfortunately, one of them decided not to finish out his senior season and everything, but watching you stay after practice, bestowing upon them like Turk theory, being able to do leg Turk stuff and watching them kind of really take that in, especially those big boys. It's just an example, but also you and Scala and Woodrich and Keller, all the assistants do such a great job of, letting them, pushing them to the point of, if they're doing a move correctly, you're letting them finish, and if they're still moving, letting them finish. But if they're doing something incorrectly, it's, a little bit of a, punishing them, like kind of that
there you go.
buzzer on the cheese for the rat, like, not that way,
Yeah, I think it's important to let them finish some of the moves, especially if they get in and they earned it, they got in deep.
Yeah.
It's good to show them that they what they did was correct, and they're going to get some
Yes, it is.
some positive reinforcement out of it.
Absolutely. I mean, I never let up, but I'm glad you do.
Sometimes you got to beat them up a little bit.
Yeah.
We've kind of went over your highlights and your career highlights, but there's one you didn't mention, your freshman year at the high school state tournament. You remember what happened there? You were coming along as an extra that day. You end up, Adam had a little cold sore on his lip. They wouldn't let him weigh in. And I heard Davis yell, "Get Sorensen."
Well,
Did you come in that day for weigh-ins?
I weighed, I think it was freshman year.
Oh, God, your eyes are like
Freshman
that big.
I weighed in, but I never actually participated in
Oh,
any
you
of
didn't
the.
wrestle then?
Nope,
Okay.
nope.
Okay. I didn't know.
I can't remember if that was freshman or if that was my sophomore year, but yeah.
But
I
that
know your eyes are really big when you yelled your name.
Yeah.
But that junior year, which would have been my senior, having you, kind of bookend our team, being able to rely on our 189 pounder to at least get a win, if not
That's when he came
rack
into
up
his own
extras.
as that
Yeah,
junior year.
like that was huge.
And being one of the heavier weights, you're kind of like, there's a lot of stress on your shoulders, and you just have to be able to carry that weight, right? Because
Yep.
you go into it and we're winning, well then, all right, it really doesn't matter. You go into it, and a lot of times, and we've seen this lately, where the end of the match it's super close, and it comes down to, back then it was 89 heavyweight. We need to make
Right
this
there.
happen. Like, we need a pin. Like, that's a lot of times that's what happened. We got to the point where, because our heavyweight wasn't always super. It was.
They were young.
They were young.
We had
And-
young heavyweights.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it was like you need a pin, or we aren't going to win. We aren't going to win this. So you go into that, and especially like I remember at the state tournament in the team match against Apple Valley. I ran out there. My brother had just gone out there, and actually, I think he just ended up getting pinned by. I think that guy placed. Yeah, Daniel. Yeah, he got tossed in a ladder drop, I think, and got pinned. And I think that guy took first or second that year. And the guy I went against, he was big, burly, and when I first grabbed onto him, I thought, oh man, this guy's pretty tough. But I ended up catching him, and
I think you wore him out.
it was like I can't remember if it was a power double or a single leg, but ended up getting him off the ground. And that picture that might have been that was junior year that actually in the state.
Yep.
Yeah, because that was my senior year.
Yes,
Yeah.
because the next year we actually had a pretty cool photo of it, and it was actually on the state book.
Yeah.
And that was we walked up. I still remember we were walking down to check our weights the day before, and we saw one of the state books, and I looked over and I saw OJ on the front page, and I go, "Hey, OJ, you made the front of the wrestling book." And then all of a sudden somebody went, "Hey, that's you," and I was like, "Holy crap, I'm on there too!" So yeah, it was a pretty cool picture.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome. Well, I'm gonna ask. That there was a lot of serious stuff, a lot of pressure on 189 shoulders,
Heavier
everything like
weights,
that.
yep.
However, what's something you are allowed to say on mic as far as kind of one of your funnier or like favorite moments, or just something like weird, crazy? I don't know. High school, college, can be anything like that. I should have prepped you for this one. I forgot to prep you for this
I
question.
should have been prepped. I'm horrible
Yeah.
at these kind of questions.
Oh boy, let's see.
Ooh, off the top of my head, God, I can't think of anything right now.
You and Scotty, nothing like that? Or, I mean, you have two little knucklehead brothers. I mean, come on.
Well, I'll tell you what, at the senior banquet my senior year, I was leaving. So me and Daniel, we were kind of thick as thieves throughout high school. And everybody kind of made jokes about that, right? And I was leaving. Senior year, I'm done. So at the banquet, we ended up giving him a blow-up doll. And everybody said that since Justin's leaving, you'll need somebody. So
Oh, my God.
yeah, so he got to take a blow-up doll home with him. So yeah,
That's awesome.
everybody in the crowd got a pretty good laugh
forgot
at
about
that.
that. Yeah,
that's incredible.
That was a good one.
Yeah, they got a pretty good laugh at
one.
that.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
I was sitting up there. And oh my goodness! So
That's amazing.
it was funny though. It was on the the funny side of things.
Yeah. Oh,
I
that's
didn't know we
awesome.
took it seriously. We had a good time with that one.
Yep.
Good time.
That was pretty good.
Well, I'm very grateful that you went to the MSB fundraiser this summer, because that started the chain of events, and you ran into my sports agent, Mike Megger,
There you go.
who is of course a talker, but also a great recruiter, because it's great
He's
to
a
have you back
talker.
in the room.
He's a talker.
Yeah, it's been so much fun having you back, and I knew it was going to be beneficial. Don't get me wrong, but I love how you're doing something right. They light up every time you come in. I know we have a lot of coaches that can't be here every day. You guys do a great job, though, of making the effort, planning it out. We don't have a lot of teachers on staff, so it's a lot of people taking time away from their jobs and sacrificing that way. So thank you so much.
With my work schedule, Mondays and Tuesdays are pretty much the only days that I can be here.
Yep.
And then, it really hasn't worked out for weekend tournaments, but I've been trying to make the home matches. But trying to get the most out of the 2 days that I am here. And, I got a lot of these coaches have had a lot of time with these guys. So I'm still learning names.
Sure.
The guys that I work with every day, I got their names down, but there's a lot of people I just don't know. And I just haven't had that relationship with yet. So I just got to build that trust, and it's going to take time.
Yeah, absolutely.
How about a shout out? You got a shout out to anybody?
Yeah, like you said, my grandma and grandpa, and and my
They were
dad.
avid fans for I don't know how
Yep,
many years.
my entire family.
Yeah.
I had huge support throughout high school and college. I mean, I don't think my dad missed a match.
No.
For sure in high school, and unless it was across the country in college, my dad was there. So
Yeah.
I give him a lot of credit and a lot of thanks, because especially as a young man, you don't get as far as you do if you don't have the support of your family and friends and everybody
Absolutely.
else.
Yeah.
That's where I always had some people tell me, "You're driving that far for a 6-minute match. What else do you get speed in the first period? Then 2 minutes you're gonna go, and then they got to go all the 6 hours coming home."
Yep.
Yeah.
The kids, you don't realize it until later on, but the kids do really appreciate that.
Oh,
It
yes, they
means a
do.
lot to them.
Absolutely.
But then, other than that, be just my wife, Carrie, and my 2
Okay.
kids.
Okay.
So
Well,
Two
thank
girls.
you, sir.
yeah, I appreciate it.
We'll be back with more wrestling right after this break. All right. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Owatonna Wrestling Weekly podcast here with head coach DJ Johnson, Jared
And-
Johnson.
Your longtime middle school head coach, Larry Hovden.
Yep. Long time. 30-something. I don't know. 27 years, I think it was. I can't remember. I lost track now. But I've had a lot of fun in that. And we have
Josh Woodrich,
Josh Woodrich.
head
I had
JV
to make
coach
Sure I said the right names.
for Owatonna High School Wrestling, and are like my absolute crutch I lean on for all technical stats, everything like that.
Great hand, man.
Yeah. So, well, Woodrich is a popular name in Owatonna. What's all the connections here?
So my dad, Jeff, and my mom, Lisa, who was originally Lisa Krause, have lived in Owatonna their whole lives.
That's a wrestling name, too, Krause.
Yep. And then my grandpa, so my dad's dad, actually used to own a funeral home here in town. So that's kind of what brought them to Owatonna originally, and
Gotcha.
never left after that.
I know your dad did miss a match. I know I saw him right in the front row. every
He
time.
was there pretty much every time we went. So was my mom, anywhere, except for those long trips to Wisconsin. We'd always take. They never went to those. But.
Yeah. And you're not an only child.
No,
even though you wanted to be, but you're not.
I have one brother who wrestled. He actually graduated the first year that I officially started coaching here. So that was kind of cool to coach my brother Jake, or most people probably know him as Bear, his senior year. And just to kind of see him succeed and do his thing was fun.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
How was the supper table when you went home at night? Did you talk a lot to him about wrestling, or kind of leave it in the room?
Pretty much just kind of left it in the room.
Okay. All right.
Well, and so, how many years have you, it seems like forever, even though you're only, in your 20s.
Yeah.
How many years have you been back?
The year after I graduated high school, so my first year of college at Gustavus, and then the year after that, so my freshman and sophomore year of college, I kind of just came in and helped out a little bit with Coach Castillo. So he kind of got me my start. And then going into my junior year of college, during the summer, they were having some like camps and duels on Monday nights out at the church by Cabela's.
Oh, yeah.
And I had been reffing those and just kind of helping out there.
I was rolling the mats up for that one.
Yep. So my first official year coaching was my junior year of college. So, and they kind of needed someone to come in and wrestle with Spencer Sorensen. So that's how I got my real official coaching start.
Someone he's not going to hurt.
Yep.
Yeah.
And can handle. Yep. Nice.
Okay, your coaching style. We talked about when you coach. What kind of style do you like? Yeah, you're kind of like the heavyweight, I'm sure.
Yeah. I mostly work like in practice with the bigger guys because that's what I always was. I was always, when I was little, my brackets either had 2 letters in them or a plus after the weight. So I've been a big guy forever.
Yeah.
Just kind of working with those big guys and letting them work and get better and teaching them a little bit.
Okay.
Sure.
What do you teach them? What's one of the better moves you show? Where do you shine? That's what we're looking at.
I guess my best position is kind of working from an underhook on your feet and just kind of that knee block and snatch single type of stuff. So that's kind of my
That's
forte
a heavyweight
or
move for
bread and
sure.
butter.
You don't want to get caught underneath them.
We see that translating directly to our heavyweight right now,
Yep.
Mr. Lauer. That's working for him. So, keep that up. Nice. Well, and I would say you're just like Coach Sorensen. You're a great lead by example. You're wrestling live every single day. Maybe not the most vocal in the room. I know I also bogart that. It's my voice kind of the entire time, so I don't leave a lot of dead air. So sorry about that. But
Your voice is holding up.
it is. Last
that
year it
much
sure
caffeine.
didn't. I'm used to it this year apparently, but no. So I love that, and I love the fact that just like Coach Sorensen, you reward as the technique is developing, the correct things, and it's great to see. It's not like you're just going out there and demolishing them, which you can do because you're in great shape. So we appreciate that too.
Well, that's good. Let the big guy, like you're showing a big guy to do the move right. That's hard for a heavyweight sometimes.
Yeah.
You get rolling one direction, it's kind of hard to stop sometimes.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And, I see that with heavyweights a lot. I saw it last night too on the matches I was watching. So,
Well, and how about your own career then on the mat? What did that look like?
So I think I started wrestling in kindergarten or my last year of preschool, somewhere right around there. Wrestled up until 5th grade. Took a year off because I was just kind of burned out going to tournaments every weekend and
your
Wanted
dad
to-
was a pusher.
wanted to give basketball a shot in 6th grade, and that
That's
didn't,
because you were the biggest guy then.
Yeah,
You're
and
the
that-
tallest
Yeah.
guy in the room.
that didn't go so well. My coordination wasn't. I kind of played basketball like it was football or
Street
wrestling,
ball.
so
Yeah.
that didn't last real long.
Yeah.
But then I started wrestling again in 7th grade with Coach Hovden, and I think you might have been.
I was coaching
then
that
too,
year, yeah.
and Coach Mock. So a lot of the coaches I coach with now were actually my coaches at one point. So that's kind of cool.
Isn't that fun when that happens? It's really cool.
And then wrestled middle school all the way through high school. My junior year, though, towards the middle of the year, I had some sort of skin thing. I think it was impetigo or something, and missed a couple weeks. And then lost a wrestle off after that. So the end of my junior year didn't exactly go how I wanted it to. And I was
Who was that to then?
Logan Barrett.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
And I was...
he was a good wrestler.
Yeah.
You don't have to be ashamed of that one.
No.
Yeah.
But towards the
You were
end of towards the end of my junior year, I was kind of set on not wrestling as a senior because I was convinced that I was going to play college football. But then actually, I don't know if you guys remember Dalton Henderson
Yeah.
at all.
Quite well.
Towards the end of the year, or at our banquet, I think, his dad had kind of caught wind of that and kind of pulled me aside and told me, "You're not going to quit. You're going to wrestle and everything." So then by the end of my junior year, I had been starting to go in and lift every morning with one of our quarterbacks on the football team. We were lifting, taking snaps together and everything. And my senior year, I just knew I kind of really wanted to leave my mark on it and work hard. So my senior year, I finally ended up kind of breaking through and going from that kind of bubble starter backup type wrestler and qualified for state as a senior. So that was fun seeing all that hard work I had put in pay off.
That's awesome that you stuck with it and saw the benefit of doing both.
Yep.
Yeah. That's incredible.
Let's see. So that's your own wrestling career. What's your favorite or funniest moments? You got any?
Yes, I think you're going to both remember this one.
I know one.
We were up at Coon Rapids.
Oh, yeah. There it is.
And I think we were down by
3.
either 3 or 1 or something going into my match, and I was the heavyweight. And I went out there and got a pin to win in 8th grade at that Coon Rapids tournament. And
We would have won
After-
by 3 points.
Yeah.
We would have.
Yeah. Right.
after I won, my dad came storming out of the stands onto the mat, picked me up, gave me a hug. It wasn't like
No.
the parents who come out of the stands mad because their
Mad
kid
at a
lost
ref
or
or
mad at
something.
the ref or something. He was just so fired up and so happy for me that he kind of lost track of everything and came
the
down
ref
there on the
hadn't
mat.
raised your hand yet.
Yeah.
That was the problem.
Oh, yeah.
And I saw him go like this, and I'm thinking, oh no, how many points is he going to take away? So I look up at that scoreboard, and they only took 1 point away. So.
Oh, nice.
And that was a huge pin, though. It
Yeah.
was. You know, that's one of them where I told you got to get a pin. Here. Yep. You got to pin him and just win it. You know,
Yeah.
you don't want to go all that way and just decision. You wanted to pin him.
Yeah.
And he did. He just went out and he stuck him. It was fun. Oh, and all the kids trying to keep everybody off the mat
Yeah.
after you got that pin. Because that ref would have called that too. He'd have
Oh,
took
yeah.
1 point.
Storming the mat. Yeah. Oh,
And
that's
I
awesome.
warned them all when I said, when he gets his pin, you guys stay off the mat, because they were doing it earlier when somebody get one.
Oh,
in.
sure. Yeah.
And I had warned them all about it, but the cheapers, we had to get in front of them to stop them.
Well, and that team stuff, that's what sticks with you,
Yeah.
too. I
Well,
mean,
those are definitely the most fun. And then obviously making it to state
Yeah.
finally was
yeah.
cool too.
sure.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
those team ones you always remember more than anything.
Yep, your dad had no idea what he was doing. He had no idea that he was getting points taken away. He was
blacked
just so
out.
happy. He went out
So
there,
excited.
picked you up, and you were heavyweight. You were
Yeah.
pretty big at that time.
Yeah.
And he picked you up. Did he do a circle or something? And he just ran back
He
into
might
the
have,
stands.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh my goodness, that was the only time I ever had a parent on a match. I think I had a mom one time came up to the edge, but she was kind of mad at the ref.
Oh, sure.
So that was a whole different situation there. But yours was just funny. It was like, oh my goodness sakes.
Yeah. So that's probably the funniest memory I have of wrestling.
It was. It was a good one.
Well-
How about shout outs?
Yeah.
Probably my mom and dad, because they were the ones who really kind of got me started in wrestling and were always there to support me and gave me what I needed, knew kind of when to push me a little bit and when to back off, and just were always
your dad do that.
always wanted to see their boys, me and my brother, do well, and just always supported us.
Your dad was such an avid fan. Avid. I mean, he did a special show on Sunday mornings on the radio station, and that's all he talked about was the wrestling meet on Saturday. He kept saying, "Go Huskies," and he'd throw in that Indian thing because he was an Indian. And oh man, he was an avid fan.
Yeah, he loved going,
And he
so did
knew
my mom.
everybody. During a match, if I had to call him when I was on the radio and ask about something about a wrestler coming up or something, he knew the answer.
Mm-hmm.
He knew it.
I got a lot of texts from him asking about
during the match. We're
guys,
halfway
so
through
he
a
could
match,
get back to you.
and he would just, when we go to the advertisement, then we could talk, and he'd just fill us in on the next guy. It's like, wow, he knew his stuff.
That's incredible.
Good dad.
Well, thank you so much, sir. Appreciate you. I mean, every day you are one of the constants. You're one of the people that's always in here helping out, but also, like I said, head JV coach. So it's nice to have like someone as trustworthy and well organized as you, for someone like me who can feel absolutely chaotic at times. And I just never have to worry, and I appreciate that so much. And also someone to, I mean, not every program has someone that can roll with heavyweights, that can actually push them and
Make him do a move right.
yeah,
That
because
came up earlier,
without that, they could just be doing it wrong over and over again and not have kind of a shining example of what to execute. So love that too. Thank you.
I appreciate you calling me organized. You might be the first one that's ever said that. So
I
thank
feel
you,
it, yeah.
Coach Johnson.
I think you are.
Okay. Well, that about wraps up our Owatonna Wrestling Weekly podcast, Season 2, Episode 6. We just finished that one up, so.
Just want to give a shout out maybe to Flemke there, Mr. Flemke Insurance Agency.
Oh, yeah. They're the one-stop shop. That's the big thing there. They shop around for you, get the best prices. I know that. I've heard that many, many times.
And he, I'm sure he wants me to say that 24/7, he never sleeps. He'll always, but he is a hard worker. I know that for a fact. I get responses on the weekends. It's whatever for his clients. So that's a great quality to have in an insurance agent.
Okay, and again, Justin Sorensen and Josh Woodrich are guys coming in here, assistant coaches on the varsity squad. JV head coach, I think you are. And so you're doing really well, Josh. Just keep up the good work, and teams will get better. That's the way it goes.
Absolutely.
All right. That's it, Coach. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Take care.